Hello and welcome to House News. In this episode, we present you the latest information coming from the House of Representatives of Indonesia. And now, let's see the headlines for today. Ireland has become a strategic partner for Indonesia with trade growing over the past 4 years. Capitalizing on this growth, Indonesia-Ireland GKSB hopes stronger economic partnership to empower local MSMEs. Indonesia policy to ban and stop the export of raw nickel ore abroad has become a trending topic internationally after being responded to and sued by the European Union. Hundreds of government agencies in Indonesia have been disrupted after a hacking group used an advanced piece of malicious software to launch a cyber attack and breach cyber defenses. Commission 10 of the House is currently revising the tourism law to focus on quality tourism instead of quantity. This revision also aims to promote sustainable tourism. Japan faces a record hike of flesh-eating bacteria cases with nearly 1,000 affected by the syndrome this year. The disease has a 30% mortality rate and can become fatal within 48 hours of infection. Indonesia-Ireland Parliamentary Friendship Group recently received a visit from the Ambassador of Ireland to Indonesia. The meeting explored areas for cooperation, suggesting a shared interest in working together for mutual benefit.
Chairpersons of the Indonesia-Ireland Parliamentary Friendship Group, Willy Midaliosap, stated, while cooperation between Indonesia and Ireland has been positive, there is room for improvement in certain sectors, such as in economics, education, and tourism, which hold potential for further development. The Irish ambassador also proposed exchanging visits between parliamentarians, which could strengthen better communications and understanding, leading to more effective collaborations on national and international issues.
Jadi jumlah wisatawan, terutama itu masalah wisatawan, mereka sudah lebih dari 34.000 yang sudah berkunjung ke Indonesia, dan sebaliknya Indonesia pasti tidak banyak. Dan disampaikan juga beliau bahwa jumlah orang Irlandia yang ada di Indonesia juga tidak banyak, kurang lebih 300 ya, dan mereka bekerja dari berbagai sektor ya. Kemudian orang Indonesia kebanyakan di Irlandia itu adalah mereka yang sekolah atau belajar gitu. Nah, jadi inilah yang menjadi rencana kita untuk meningkatkan hubungan parlemen, hubungan pemerintah Indonesia tentu adalah di bidang ekonomi ya, kemudian juga pendidikan, pariwisata, dan yang tidak kalah pentingnya itu bagaimana kita meningkatkan neraca perdagangan kita.
The recent meeting also recognized the stunning natural beauty, rich cultural heritages, and similar stages of economic development that both nations share. This suggests a future where both countries can improve mutually beneficial partnership. Rodiah and Bari, TVA Parliament report.
The European Union, who took Indonesia to court at the WTO regarding Indonesia policy ban on nickel exports, is now willing to negotiate. This opened the door for the lawsuit to be withdrawn.
Vice Chairperson of BKSAP of the House Putu Supatmarudana mentions, persistent efforts of the government and parliament have influenced the European Union's recent decisions. The government is conducting first-track diplomacy while the parliament is carrying out its functions as second-track diplomacy. BKSAP of the House has been in intensive communications with a number of committees in the EU to discuss the nickel downstreaming policy.
Pemerintah telah melakukan first-track diplomasi, tapi parlemen juga secara maksimal berusaha menjembatani kepentingan nasional Indonesia. Dan kami juga pada saat forum Parliamentary Conference on WTO, kita juga menyuarakan tentang hilirisasi ini. Bahkan saya ke WTO pada saat itu melakukan intervensi, memastikan bahwa apakah yang kita ekspor itu seharusnya produk jadi untuk nikel ore kita, ataukah barang mentah. Dan mereka secara lugas mengatakan kita harus mengekspor barang jadi. Jadi artinya sebetulnya WTO, Parlemen Eropa sebenarnya sudah sejalan. Nah, tentu kita sekarang ingin ke depan memastikan hal ini agar menjadi satu komitmen bersama.
Indonesia lost its case against the EU's nickel ore export ban at a World Trade Organization hearing in October 2022. The WTO raised concerns that Indonesia's ability to process the nickel itself wasn't developed enough for the ban to comply with trade regulations. In response, Indonesia's intent to challenge the WTO's decisions while the appellate body is reformed. Hendra Sunandar, TVR Parliament reports.
Commission 1 of the House questions the government commitment to cybersecurity after the temporary national data center was hacked. The government admitted the data was not backup, causing disruption in various government services.
During a working meeting with Commission 1 of the House, head of Cybersecurity Agency Hinsa Siburian pointed to governance problems as the cause of the data breach. However, the chairperson of Commission 1 of the House, Mutia Hafid, strongly disagreed. She argued that failing to back up critical data wasn't a matter of governance, but a clear case of government negligence.
Ya berarti itu bukan tata kelola, itu kebodohan aja sih Pak. Punya data nasional dipadukan seluruh kementerian harusnya, untung katanya ada beberapa kementerian yang belum comply, belum gabung. Masih untung orang Indonesia. Itu malah yang selamat. Yang paling patuh imigrasi saya dengar. Itu yang paling gak selamat. Intinya jangan lagi bilang tata kelola, karena ini bukan masalah tata kelola Pak. Ini masalah kebodohan, punya data nasional, tidak ada satupun backup berarti kan.
Hundreds of government agencies, including the National Intelligence Agency and the Automatic Fingerprint Identification System, were hit by a cyber attack. Member of Commission 1 of the House, Sukamta, called for immediate formations of a national task force. This team including experts and academics aiming to tackle the issue of frequent hacking.
Bukan hanya soal KL-nya sampai 200 sekian yang datanya disimpan di situ. Bahkan punya BAIS TNI. Menurut saya ini insiden yang sangat luar biasa besar, Pak. Saya usul satu aja, Pak. Supaya dibentuk Satgas Nasional.
Rifki Magdudi, TVR Parliament reports.
After the break, we bring you update on Commission 10 of the House. Stay tuned to House News. Indonesia's natural and cultural wealth can boost the tourism sector. With global technology change, tourism should be a key part of national economic development, not just a supporting sector.
Commission 10 of the House considers revising the tourism law necessary to align regulations with current conditions. The Vice Chairperson of Commission 10 of the House, Abdul Fikri Fakih, stated efforts are underway to complete the revision of Law No. 10 of 2009 by the end of the current session.
Harapan yang ini kan tinggal satu harapan proses ya, tinggal satu masa sidang. Mudah-mudahan keburu ya. Mudah-mudahan dalam satu masa sidang ini diskusi dengan pemerintah itu tidak terlalu berlarut-larut karena kita sudah berdebat, berdiskusi dengan stakeholder dan masukan-masukan ini harusnya menjadi catatan karena tidak seluruhnya dituangkan dalam undang-undang. Lalu undang-undang tidak boleh ngunci, undang-undang tidak boleh sampai detail.
Regarding the drafting of the tourism law, Commission 10 of the House conducted visits to several provinces to gather input, ensuring the tourism bill would benefit the wider community.
Nah, kita ingin pariwisata kita betul-betul bisa dinikmati oleh seluruh masyarakat, bukan hanya Indonesia tapi oleh dunia. Nah, oleh karena itu kita perlu beri pagar. Ya, pagar inilah undang-undang kita ini agar daerah tujuan wisata itu bisa lebih baik, kemudian dampaknya kepada masyarakat sekitar bisa dinikmati, kemudian lagi ya bagaimana wisata itu betul-betul bermanfaat bagi masyarakat banyak.
Meanwhile, member of Commission 10 Andreas Hugo Pareira emphasized the importance of local ownership of tourist areas. Legal protections are needed to prevent local communities the host in tourism industry.
Tidak kalah penting, bahkan menurut saya ini bagian yang penting yaitu pengembangan sumber daya manusia sehingga tempat di mana akan menjadi destinasi itu ya masyarakat lokal harus menjadi tuan rumah di tempat-tempat destinasi tersebut. Jangan sampai kita ya membangun destinasi pariwisata kemudian masyarakat lokal menjadi tamu bahkan menjadi tersisihkan dari tempat mereka di mana mereka hidup.
The tourism law has not been updated for 15 years. Therefore, collecting factual data is necessary for the revision of law, ensuring Indonesian tourism not only focuses on the number of tourists but also the quality of tourism, both in terms of tourist attractions and human resources.
In the 2024 Kartini Awards event initiated by the Kartini Heritage Center, Speaker of the House received an award for the category of Exemplary Woman in Politics, recognizing her contribution and dedication to politics in Indonesia.
On this occasion, Speaker of the House Dr. Honoris Causa Puan Maharani invited all Indonesian women to stand together and promote gender equality. Puan Maharani emphasized achieving equality for Indonesian women alongside fulfilling their role as mother is a challenge. She stressed the necessity of strong support from fellow women to ensure Indonesian women do not feel isolated in this ongoing struggle. Furthermore, Puan also appreciated more Indonesian women hold strategic positions in various sectors. This is expected to inspire other Indonesian women to achieve their goals and dreams.
Kesamaan tantangan itulah yang kemudian membuat kita ketika ada satu saja perempuan yang kemudian menempati satu posisi yang kemudian sangat membanggakan, membuat hati kita berbahagia. Paling tidak itu di saya. Artinya kemudian saya mengatakan tembok-tembok yang menghalangi kita sudah berhasil dihilangkan oleh perempuan yang hebat tersebut. Artinya nantinya perempuan lain berhak untuk menduduki jabatan-jabatan yang sudah diduduki oleh perempuan-perempuan hebat itu.
In addition, Puan Maharani stated the percentage of women in parliament is on the rise, reflecting growing progress in achieving gender equality. In the 2019 to 2024 period, the representation of women has reached 20.5% or around 120 seats. Ken Endifo, TVR Parliament Report.
Since 2022, the government has implemented Halal Certification Program for MSMEs. This program is in collaboration with relevant ministries and institutions to achieve the goal of issuing 10 million halal certifications by 2024.
Vice Chairperson of Commission 8 of the House, Diah Pitaloka, hopes the Halal Product Assurance Organizing Body can continue to improve its ability to provide halal certifications to various levels of business. Dia also encouraged cooperation with related agencies to expand the achieve the halal certification process nationwide.
Penyelia halal misalnya atau lembaga LPH, lembaga penyelenggara halal gitu ya di daerah-daerah, juga laboratorium, ini kapasitasnya harus segera ditingkatkan. Dan ini juga menurut saya kapasitas anggaran yang masih sangat terbatas membuat juga daya jangkau sertifikasi halal ini belum terlalu optimal. Program pemerintah sejauh ini baru sebatas usaha mikro menengah ya.
Meanwhile, member of Commission 8 of the House Endang Maria Astuti added, Commission 8 urges the government to accelerate the halal certification process and impose affordable rates, especially for MSMEs.
Kita harapkan proses sertifikasi itu pembayarannya tidak mahal dan segera digenjot dengan harapan UMKM itu memberikan kepastian kepada khalayak bahwa mereka tidak perlu ragu. Faktanya orang tidak ragu-ragu apakah itu muslim atau non-muslim.
Ferdian and Helmi, TVR Parliament Report.
When we return, we bring you more information on the health sector, only on House News. A deadly outbreak of flesh-eating bacteria is spreading rapidly across Japan. Close to 1,000 cases have been reported in the Asian country this year. Doctors warn symptoms can be fatal within 48 hours.
The spread of a rare flesh-eating bacteria disease in Japan has growing rapidly, following the relaxation of COVID-era restrictions, potentially resulting in fatalities within 48 hours. An increase in cases of a rare but lethal human flesh-eating bacterial infection has gripped Japan following the easing of COVID-19 restrictions. Known as streptococcal toxic shock syndrome, this disease can kill within just 48 hours of infections. Streptococcal toxic shock syndrome belongs to a group of a Streptococcus bacteria, which release toxins, triggering an intense inflammatory response in the body. This leads to rapid tissue decay, severe pain, and shock. The infection can swiftly spread through the bloodstream, causing multi-organ failure in a short span. Initial symptoms typically include sore throat, fever, loss of appetite, diarrhea, vomiting, and other gastrointestinal issues. Experts caution that the early symptoms of these bacterial infections are often mistaken for the common cold due to the rapid progression of the disease. High fever accompanied by redness around the wound are warning signs that require immediate medical attention.
Crescent Regional Hospital in Texas is making the innovation in using holographic technology for doctor visits, potentially becoming the first in the US to offer this sci-fi experience for patients.
According to ABC News, Crescent Regional Hospital in Lancaster, Texas, is the first in the U.S. to implement 3D hologram technology to connect physicians and patients remotely. The hospital has installed its first hologram display and video studio, allowing physicians to teleport as a life-size 3D hologram and connect with patients in real time. This technology, known as HoloBox, is developed by HoloConnex, a provider of holographic solutions. Hospital leaders believe this innovation will reduce patient wait times and enhance access to specialized care. Immediate applications at Crescent's Medical Center include virtual consultations for pre- and post-surgery, virtual rounds with patient and hospitalists, spatial consultations, and patient educations. CEO and managing partner of Crescent Regional Hospital says, teleporting doctors in real time to connect and speak with patients from any locations give patient access to healthcare. The hospital plans to install more studios throughout the hospital and in doctors' offices so more physicians can do holographic visits. Doctor shortage areas are everywhere, and healthcare facilities are sometimes not 24 hours. If we can do anything to make access to care and engagement with healthcare professionals, this will be a very satisfying result for people's health.
Fresh foods can provide our bodies with the nutrient our immune system. You need a variety of fruits, vegetables, whole grains, herbs, and spices in your diet to enable your body to stay as healthy as possible.
While no single food is a magic cure when you're sick, eating a healthy diet full of vitamins and minerals that support your immune system can boost your immunity, which can prevent illness and help you bounce back sooner when you do get sick. Broccoli is supercharged with vitamins and minerals, packed with vitamins A, C, and E, as well as fiber and many other antioxidants. Broccoli is one of the healthiest vegetables you can put on your plate. The key to keeping its power intake is to cook it as little as possible, or better yet, not at all. Research has shown that steaming or microwaving are the best ways to keep more nutrients in the food. When it comes to preventing and fighting off colds, vitamin E tends to take a backseat to vitamin C. However, this powerful antioxidant is key to a healthy immune system. Nuts, such as almonds, are packed with the vitamin and also have healthy fats. Adults only need about 15 milligrams of vitamin E each day. A half-cup serving of almonds provides around 100% of the recommended daily amount. Spinach made our list not just because it's rich in vitamin C. It's also packed with numerous antioxidants and beta-carotene, which may both increase the infection-fighting ability of our immune systems. Similar to broccoli, spinach is healthiest when cooked as little as possible, so that it retains its nutrients. However, light cooking makes it easier to absorb the vitamin A.
And that's House News for today. Thank you for watching everyone, and have a good day.